Hey guys, it's Chandler Vincent with weldermade.com. Thanks for coming again this month. We have changed the way we do our videos just a little bit. I'm trying to get a higher quality of audio to you guys, so I am recording the audio after I do the video. So let me know what you guys think. I think this will let me explain things more, why I'm doing it, and get you guys hearing me a little more clear. So let me know what you think and we'll get started. So first things first. Let's look at the blueprint. Let's make sure that you have the same part number on the bottom right hand side of the blueprint. And just make sure we're on the same project. You got the same project in the box and we're on the same page. So we'll go up to the right hand corner and we'll look at the bubbles on the top, and we will figure out what parts are what so you know what parts go where. Let's get started. Part number 1 is the base plate. It is a 7x5 rectangle. That is part number 1. That'll be flat on the table. That's part number 1. Part number 2 is that part on the back side. It's got a radius corner on one side, and that's part number 2. Okay, part number 3. There's 2 of them. They're mirrored. One goes on each side. Make sure you put draw side down. That'll show you what direction they face. Okay, part 4 is that weird looking shape that does not have the logo. And part 5 is that custom shape on the bottom that's got the taper going to the middle. And then 6 is the part with the logo. And 7 is the same as number 2, just mirrored with a purge hole in the back. Make sure you don't mix those two up. And that is all the parts for this stainless project. Count, make sure you have the right amount of parts. You should have 8 total. Alright guys, for cleaning, I'm just cleaning that dross off first and then running my flapper wheel really quick over that weld face. It doesn't need much. That cut's not very dirty. Just make sure you get rid of that oxidization on the back side from the laser cutter. And then just touch it up and deburr it. And then I wipe it down with some acetone, get any finger grease off, any surface contaminants. Then I make sure that acetone is far away from my weld area when I start tacking and welding, because it's highly flammable. Okay, so we're going to start tacking up this project with parts that are on the same plane. We're going to start with parts 6 and 4. If I can get my welding hood out of the way. Just quick little buzz tacks on each side, doesn't need any filler. And here I cleaned the back side of those parts a little more because we're going to be welding across them. That's parts 7 and 2. Now that all those are tacked that are on the same plane, we're going to go to the Easy Tack tool. And we're going to start with part 5. And we're going to tack parts 3 on both sides of part 5. Make sure you got a nice tight fit up. Make those corners meet perfectly. That'll help you with your purge and your weldability. Okay, there's that assembly. Now we're going to tack parts 6 and 4. We're going to pre-bend them a little bit with our hands until they fit right there on top of part 5 with that taper just perfect. Some quick little buzz tacks in the corner. And now for parts 2 and 7 for the back side. Bend those over until it's a good fit up. If your tacks break, don't stress, just put a little tack on there and keep going. So on my project, the fit up turned out pretty good. No complaints there. Now I'm going to tack that assembly onto the base plate, but I'm going to take some calipers and mark the edges. You got 0.825 on one side and 1 inch on the back side of that project. Tacked it on all the corners, put some extra tacks everywhere, just quick little fusion tacks, making sure that this piece doesn't warp when I'm welding. And then when the tacks are hot, I give them a quick brush, get that oxidized layer off so it doesn't affect my weldability. So with that purge hose in that back hole, I just stuffed steel wool in there to keep it in. It kind of seems out of the norm, but you want air to flow out just as much as you want argon to flow in, because what it's doing is it's purging that oxygen out of that project and pushing it out of that purge holes. So it seems a little weird with that steel wool, but it's really effective. The only thing that kind of sucks is you'll see later on the video, sometimes my hose falls out when I'm moving the project. Sometimes you guys can cut a little plate and put a little hose barb on that plate to where you tack that plate onto the project and drill a little hole in the top. That'll give you a little bit better purge. But with these projects, it doesn't take much to get a good purge. So we are happy to announce we are selling TIG fingers on the website now. I'm a huge supporter of these TIG fingers. Jody with weldingtipsandtricks.com is the one that invented these things. I've used them throughout my career. I love them. They're a super good tool. Protect yourself. No need to be burning your hands. Stay comfortable. You'll see me using this TIG finger on both my filler wire hand and my torch hand throughout the project. So check them out. They're super affordable, they're super effective, and they last forever. So check them out. They're on the website. And keep your hands nice and cool. So now it's the welding process. I'm doing this vertical butt joint right in between parts 6 and 4. I'm doing that one first. I let that purge sit in there for just a second. That welded really well. It's pretty thin material. I'm about 60 amps, and I don't go full pedal most of the time, especially on my verticals. The hardest part about these little stainless projects are heat management. So if you guys feel like it's getting too hot, don't be scared to just step to the side and let it cool, or dab it with a damp rag and cool that stainless off. Because once it's too hot, the weldability goes out the window, and it just makes it harder for you guys, and you get more frustrated, and that's not what we want. So generally, people have too big of welds on these thin stainless projects. You don't need a very big weld. You're really going for about the diameter, the thickness of your material. This is 14 gauge. You're looking for an 1/8 inch weld width-wise at the most. The smaller you keep that weld, the faster you can go, and the less heat you have in that project. A lot of it is that gas nozzle. Make sure you guys are having the right gas settings and having a good shielding gas protection over that stainless. If your weld pool is swirling in any way, most likely you're having contamination, purge issues, or something is wrong with your gas settings or your cup. We will be selling Furic cups soon, within the next couple weeks. So all of the stuff that I'm using on this video, you guys will have access to. So make sure you're doing everything the same way I am, and that'll help you guys in the long run. So this weld was a little tough because there was some oxidization layers from the past weld. Make sure you brush them off the best you can. If it's discolored, brush it until it's the color of stainless again, and then you're good to go. You'll notice the second you hit those oxidized layers, the weldability goes down. So you see here I got the TIG finger on my workbench where I'm just sliding my hand across the table for these fillet welds. I have a little longer stick out on my torch to get me down into that fillet weld. I love these fillets because that base plate's flat on the table, and that table sucks a lot of heat out of the weld, so it's a lot easier to weld. Sorry I have not had Chalk Talk videos for you guys yet. Weldermade.com has been growing really quick, and we've been trying every day to keep up with orders, and and keep up with these videos and product development and stuff like that. So within the next week or two, I will have you guys Chalk Talk videos where we will start going in depth on a lot of the science behind these weld pulls, techniques, feeding techniques, and tips and tricks. So be watching for those. They are coming. I'm sorry they're not here yet. These videos, I want to make sure you guys are getting these things tacked up and getting a general knowledge on how to start welding them. And those Chalk Talk videos will go in depth on all of the procedures and techniques and stuff like that. So it's coming soon. Be patient. It's coming. These fillet welds are the funnest part of this whole project, in my opinion. It's not so heat sensitive. I love it. So this project in general turned out really good. It's a really good project. Focus on your heat management and your weld size. Don't be putting too big of welds on there. Focus on the color of your welds. That color is going to tell you your shielding quality and your heat management quality. If you're getting dark gray welds, there's two things that could be going on. Your shielding gas with your nozzle isn't protecting it, and two, you're welding too hot and your project's getting too hot, so it takes longer for your weld pool to solidify. And if it's taking longer for your weld pool to solidify, more than likely your shielding gas has already progressed beyond that molting puddle, and then it oxidizes when it's solidifying, and that is why it is dark gray. When it's dark gray, it's really hard to weld over with other passes, and it's really hard to control. So look for that swirling weld pool when you guys are watching that stainless weld pool. We like to call it a turbulent weld pool. If you see it twirling or swirling in any way, doing its own thing, you have either a purge problem or a shielding gas problem. So we will go into these things a little more in depth. Keep practicing, keep trying, and those Chalk Talk videos will be coming out soon. Thank you guys so much for being here. I cannot wait to see you guys next month. Let me know what you think of the new video quality. We're trying to improve our quality in the projects and the videos every month. So let me know what you think. I want to hear you guys' feedback. Feel free to reach out to me on social media or here on YouTube, even on the website. If you're having specific problems, feel free to take pictures of your projects or your problem areas and email them to me, and we will start going over all the different things and get you guys where you want to be. That is why we're here. I want you guys to learn. I want you guys to progress. So let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys next month. Thank you.